Hi, you're watching Dog-Eared Musings, and today I'm doing a kind of reading vlog / reflection of The Summer Book by Tove Jansson. Now, you've probably heard this name before because Jansson's written the very, very famous collections of short stories about the Moomins, which are like these really adorable cartoon characters that just live very fun, interesting lives and adventures. This book, though, is a very different departure in that this is one of Jansson's adult novels, or it's a collection of short stories that focuses on a young girl and her grandmother. And I found a lot of these themes really connecting and resonating with my life in the past month. And so we'll delve into that in this kind of therapy session of sorts. Just kidding. So I've been in Florida for about a month, a little bit over a month, and I've kind of been having this adventure and kind of reflection of what home feels like to me. So for me, in this past month, I realized that home is less about the place and more about the people and community that I surround myself with. And that takes time, right? So what do you do in the meantime? Well, I've found myself really delving deep into my routine of things that I do to take care of myself. So adulty things like making sure that my apartment is clean, making sure that my lunch is packed for work the next day, making sure my clothes are ready for work the next morning. Really treating myself like a baby so that I can be okay for the following day. And then I really mix that up with doing things that make me feel good. So maybe going for a swim or really cutting out time during the day to sit down and read or connect with a family member over FaceTime. These are all things that fill me up, and I make sure to fit that in during my day too, so that my days can feel like home. Another thing that I've realized is interdispersing routine with spontaneity. So doing things and finding new things that excite me or fill me with adventure. So I make a running list of things that I want to do, places that I want to see, restaurants I want to go to, and I kind of tick down that list and find new things. And as I find new things, I kind of build up the place of what home is and meet new people along the way that kind of build more familiar faces for new adventures. Another thing that I remind myself of when I think about home is the dichotomy of life. Which I know is like kind of this intense thing to think about, or maybe this pseudo deep thing to think about, but bear with me. So for me, what I mean about that is things can be both really, really bad and really, really good. So you could experience a hurricane, your AC could go out for a week during some of the hottest days in Florida heat. Your car could make a really, really scary sound. All of those things can be true. And you could see the most beautiful sunset that you've ever seen in your life. You could eat the most amazing ice cream on your walk home. You could read the most amazing line from a book that you just read. All of those things can also be true. Life can be both good and bad. And that's really where I connected with Tove Jansson's work in The Summer Book, which is really just a meditative tale about a young girl and her grandmother and their day-to-day life, as well as an analysis of life and death following the passing of the young girl's mother. This book really feels like a meditative study. Jansson really talks about the idea that bad things can occur in life. Bad things are just kind of a thing that happened on this island as well as really amazing, beautiful, breathtaking things that happen. And that's a part of life, and there is no prescribed meaning to it. It's just the way things are. As humans, we really like to prescribe meaning to life. There's something comforting and solace-making in finding meaning behind things. And I mean, I think part of the enjoyment of reading too is finding the meaning behind things. I mean, I'm doing that with this video, is finding meaning behind things. But just as much as there's comfort in finding meaning, I think that there's also comfort in just letting things go sometimes and realizing that things happen and that's just life. I've really found that Jansson's book, the summer book, was kind of a really impactful story in this kind of moment. Not to be cheesy or fake deep about it, but I think it's really given me perspective and kind of thinking about not necessarily why things happen, but just like how things happen, and definitely makes me take a step back and remember to enjoy the good things when they happen. So what was the good thing that happened the past week? Well, unfortunately, capitalism. So I went shopping and I did a little bit of a thrift run. So I'm gonna do a really fun thrift haul for you guys. So yay! That's how we're gonna end this video. I went to some really fun thrift shops that are near my house and I picked up some really fun things. So we're gonna go through them together. I got some really cute skirts. This really long blue one that gives me Miss Frizzle vibes. This floral number that I really am hoping to achieve fall witch vibes with, which like I'm not sure how I can achieve that in Florida right now when it's currently like 88 degrees and humid, but we will fall into existence. And I also got this really fun button-up shirt that like, I don't know, have you ever like picked up a piece of clothing that like feels like you, but just you if you were like 10 billion times cooler? That's how I feel in this shirt. And it's really awesome because it's just like this simple like button-up, brown button-up with like short sleeves. It kind of has dad vibes to it, honestly, if I'm being honest, but it's also like just very like simply chic. I think that effortlessly cool vibe is really fun, and I don't think that's something that I am. So we try really hard here. Alright, I also found these really cute like bubblegum pink Depression era glasses that I've been using to like put jewelry in and my glasses, and they've been really livening up my bedside tables. And then the pièce de résistance, sorry for any French speaking people who had to hear that, my kind of like really disgusting pink milkshake, fake pink milkshake that has like this macaron on top that I found at this really cool vintage store that I got for like 15 bucks, and it's just like sitting here with my angry plushie. I guess the moral of the story is that things can just be, and buy things, I guess, too. Buy your way to happiness. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, that's been this week of Dog-Eared Musings. I'm Monika.